Three may keep a secret, if two of them are dead. Lost time is never found again. It is the first responsibility of every citizen to question authority. Hide not your talents, they for use were made. What's a sundial in the shade? An investment in knowledge always pays the best interest. Well done is better than well said. Being ignorant is not so much a shame as being unwilling to learn. How many observe Christ's birthday? How few his precepts? Beer is proof that God loves us and wants us to be happy. Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. I didn't fail the test. I just found 100 ways to do it wrong. Fear not death, for the sooner we die, the longer we shall be immortal. Justice will not be served until those who are unaffected are as outraged as those who are.
We are all born ignorant, but one must work hard to remain stupid.
Never ruin an apology with an excuse. In wine, there is wisdom. In beer, there is freedom. In water, there is bacteria. Many people die at 25 and aren't buried until they are 75. A penny saved is a penny earned. You may delay, but time will not. He that can have patience can have what he will. Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I may remember. Involve me and I learn. They who can give up essential liberty to obtain a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. Either write something worth reading or do something worth writing. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. When you're testing to see how deep water is, never use 2 feet. For the want of a nail the shoe was lost. For the want of a shoe the horse was lost. For the want of a horse the rider was lost. For the want of a rider the battle was lost. For the want of a battle the kingdom was lost. And all for the want of a horseshoe nail. To find out a girl's faults, praise her to her girlfriends. If you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. When you are finished changing, you're finished. We must all hang together, or assuredly we shall all hang separately. Love your enemies, for they tell you your faults. Be slow in choosing a friend, slower in changing. There was never a bad peace or a good war. The heart of a fool is in his mouth, but the mouth of a wise man is in his heart. Whoever would overthrow the liberty of a nation must begin by subduing the freeness of speech. Do not anticipate trouble, or worry about what may never happen. Keep in the sunlight. Whatever is begun in anger, ends in shame. He that is good for making excuses is seldom good for anything else. Educate your children to self-control, to the habit of holding passion and prejudice and evil tendencies subject to an upright and reasoning will, and you have done much to abolish misery from their future and crimes from society. Never confuse motion with action. Early to bed and early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. Dost thou love life? Then do not squander time, for that's the stuff life is made of. The person who deserves most pity is a lonesome one on a rainy day who doesn't know how to read. T'is a great confidence in a friend to tell him your faults. Greater to tell him his. Remember not only to say the right thing in the right place, but far more difficult still, to leave unsaid the wrong thing at the tempting moment. Be at war with your vices, at peace with your neighbors, and let every new year find you a better man. The Constitution only guarantees the American people the right to pursue happiness. You have to catch it yourself. If all printers were determined not to print anything till they were sure it would offend nobody, there would be very little printed. Instead of cursing the darkness, light a candle. When the well is dry, we know the worth of water. All mankind is divided into 3 classes: those that are immovable, those that are movable, and those that move. Contentment makes poor men rich. Discontent makes rich men poor. Security without liberty is called prison. Work as if you were to live 1,000 years. Play as if you were to die tomorrow. A house is not a home unless it contains food and fire for the mind as well as the body. Most people die at 25 and aren't buried until they're 75. The way to see by faith is to shut the eye of reason. The best thing to give to your enemy is forgiveness. To an opponent, tolerance. To a friend, your heart. To your child, a good example. To a father, deference. To your mother, conduct that will make her proud of you. To yourself, respect. To all others, charity. I agree to this constitution with all its faults, if they are such, because I think a general government necessary for us, and there is no form of government but what may be blessing to the people if well administered. And I believe farther that this is likely to be well administered for a course of never leave till tomorrow that which you can do today. Were I a Roman Catholic, perhaps I should on this occasion vow to build a chapel to some saint, but as I am not, if I were to vow at all, it should be to build a lighthouse. While we may not be able to control all that happens to us, we can control what happens inside us. Speak ill of no man, but speak all the good you know of everybody. If we look back into history for the character of present Saxon Christianity, we shall find few that have not in their turns been persecutors and complainers of persecution. The primitive Christians thought persecution extremely wrong in the pagans, but practiced it on one another. The first pro. If a man could have half of his wishes, he would double his troubles. We do not stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing. My refusing to eat flesh occasioned an inconveniency, and I was frequently chided for my singularity, but, with this lighter repast, I made the greater progress, for greater clearness of head and quicker comprehension. Flesh eating is unprovoked murder. Be civil to all, sociable to many, familiar with few, friend to one, enemy to none. Who is wise? He that learns from everyone. Who is powerful? He that governs his passions. Who is rich? He that is content. Who is that? Nobody. In the affairs of this world men are saved, not by faith, but by the lack of it. Keep your eyes wide open before marriage, half shut afterwards. If you would not be forgotten, as soon as you are dead and rotten, either write things worth reading, or do things worth writing. If Jack's in love, he's no judge of Jill's beauty. Happiness depends more on the inward disposition of mind than on outward circumstances. Life's biggest tragedy is that we get old too soon, and wise too late. Trouble knocked at the door, but hearing laughter, hurried away. A slip of the foot you may soon recover, but a slip of the tongue you may never get over. But in this world nothing can be said to be certain, except death and taxes.